Welcome to the Metamorphosis Project Podcast. I'm your host, Tina Eichenberg, and this is a space where transformation begins. Here, we dive deep into energy healing, self-care, and the power of mindset to help you break free from old patterns and design a life that feels aligned, vibrant, and authentically you. Each week, we explore the tools, techniques, and real-life experience that guide us toward lasting healing and growth. Because true metamorphosis isn't just about change. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. Now, let's get into this week's conversation. Welcome, Helia, to the Metamorphosis Project Podcast. I am so excited to hear your story of transformation and how the law of attraction played such a huge role in that.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I'm grateful for the opportunity. So, you went right ahead into the law of attraction.
I get right to the nitty gritty.
Perfect. I love that. I think for me, it started from, actually started with Abraham Hicks. Don't know if you or your audience are familiar. Abraham Hicks, her name is actually Esther Hicks. And she channels this energy, this consciousness she calls them Abraham. And I had a really challenging time many years ago. How long ago? It was more than 20 years ago, maybe 22 years ago. I was kind of in a situation in life that I was very isolated. I was living in Portugal. I didn't know the language. I didn't know people. And life was tough. And I found myself really I immersed myself in teachings of Abraham Hicks every day. She talked about law of attraction. She talked about the vortex, like everything you want is in this vortex. And she really encourages people to tap into that good feeling, high feeling. And it really helped me emotionally, mentally, to really find that good feeling every day. So I think that was my first introduction to this world of energy and vibration and law of attraction, and you attract however you feel and you think. That was the first thing. And then it was like majority of people was the movie The Secret.
Yeah, that was mine. That was my first introduction to it.
Yeah, just a couple of years after Abraham Hicks, watched the movie The Secret, and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I love this. And I was just obsessed since then, but I never thought that would become my career, my business, teaching law of attraction and manifestation 20 years after. So yeah, I've always been since then, since over 2 decades ago, been always interested. And even when I was younger, I was always interested and curious about spirituality. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? Those big questions. And also mindset, personal development. I was always very curious about the mind. Like I heard someone said, we only use 5 to 8% of the mind. And I was like, wow, what is this mind that no one even knows how it actually really functions? And I was really fascinated with all these subjects from early on when I was a teenager or even a preteen. And then life happened, moved to different countries. I'm living in Canada, Toronto, Canada now. This is home. This has been home for a few years now, for over almost 15 years. And different work, different businesses. And when I was in real estate, so real estate was my first business. I got out of corporate to real estate because I wanted to have my own job. I wanted to be my own boss, wanted to have my own schedule, wanted to make money as much as I wanted to. And I found this vehicle, which is real estate. And I was really not good at it. I was struggling because no one told me. I'm not sure if someone is watching this in the real estate. No one tells people that you need to know sales. And real estate is about sales. It's not about fancy homes and driving your Mercedes around and showing homes to people. I got a beautiful Mercedes. I used my savings, but there was no one to show around. There was like, what am I doing?
I don't think anybody ever hears that when they start a business, that there is sales involved,
Yeah, that's so
because,
weird. Yeah.
well, I think that most people, when they're exposed to sales, they think of the sleazy car salesman.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you go to when you think of sales, is like you get onto a car lot and all of a sudden you've got like 3 or 4 of these vulture car salesmen that are coming up to you trying to sell you a lemon that is going to break down so that you can come back and buy another car.
True.
Society has not shown sales in a good light,
Yes,
as long as I can
absolutely.
remember.
Yeah. And that's such a shame,
It
because
is.
if you are talented and you have something to offer, which I believe every human being is here to offer something, not necessarily to change millions of lives, but even just a small circle, we all came here to do something and to deliver value and to serve. I fully believe one of the most important purposes of life is to serve,
Mhm.
not just me, but how can I elevate other people? How can I add to someone else's life? And that comes with sales, because if you don't know how to sell your service or product that is going to change someone else's life, you can't help anyone. You might be the most talented person on the planet Earth, but if you don't know how to sell, you are not going to help anyone, and you're not going to help yourself either.
Right.
So yeah, but getting back to the story, so when I started real estate, I had a really hard time, and I took a few different coaching programs and different coaches, real estate coaches, really good ones, like the OGs of real estate coaches, spent a lot of money and didn't really help that much. It did a little bit, but not that much. And things shifted really when I accidentally found one of Bob Proctor's programs on YouTube. They were offering a free 1 week event, and it was called Paradigm Shift.
Mhm.
I have seen Bob. I kind of knew his character from the movie The Secret, and I really always liked his character, liked his personality, really connected with the way he talks, his passion about personal development and success and manifestation. So I took that program, and anyways, long story short, I ended up taking the whole year coaching, and that really shifted everything for me. It shifted my real estate business. I became an award-winning agent by the end of that year in my office. I started tapping into luxury real estate market. So not only I was getting more listings, but I was getting listings on a higher value properties, which means in sales industry, which means more
More
commission.
commission. Yep.
So I was really enjoying it for a while, but then I found myself like, when you are, whatever it is that you're doing, when you hang out with people and network, you talk about that thing, right? I found myself talking about manifestation, law of attraction, and mindset and subconscious programming more than I was supposed to talk about real estate. So at some point, I was like, okay, I think I am not, and I started not really enjoying real estate anymore, because I think I found my passion, which is
Right. It was a
Bob's
stepping
teachings.
stone to get you to the next step.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Yeah.
very necessary one. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned what not to do, which is hustle and grind and hard work. I was so proud of myself for being such a hard worker. I used to door knock in the cold winters of Toronto, like snow up to my knees. There's nothing wrong with that, but my energy was just
Yeah.
so like into hustle and grind and masculine energy, and I needed to compete with the sharks in the real estate market. So I learned a lot of what not to do thanks to teachings of Bob. So that's how I really perfected my knowledge and understanding of the law of attraction, manifestation, and that's what I teach. And I would add that I'm always I'm always a student. I will always be a student and a teacher for the rest of my life, because I believe there is no end to the consciousness and awareness and how much we can, we don't know. We just don't know what we don't know. Let me put it this way. And I'm excited about learning and growing.
Yeah, I use that phrase all the time. You don't know what you don't know. You know,
That's so
and
true.
it's we are always students. You know, it just because we get out of school doesn't mean we should stop learning.
Yeah.
And we have to be open to different concepts and different areas of learning. And if we stay focused and we have that tunnel vision of we're only going to learn this one thing, or we're only going to learn this one thing, you really box yourself in and you don't allow yourself to grow.
I
And
agree.
that knowledge you
100%.
have to pass on to other people, whether it's your children, clients, your team members. You're learning that knowledge so that you can pass it on. That's what knowledge is meant for, is to be passed on. What was the best thing that you learned through this process of learning through Bob Proctor? What was the key thing that you like, that is just like the one thing that you hold on to, that you know was the turning point for you, that you learned?
There are a few things. There's not just really one thing, but one thing that just came to my mind. The first thing came to my mind. I'm going to share that one, which is one of the most important things in manifestation and understanding how we manifest and the law of attraction, and really creating the life that you want, regardless of how your life has been up until now. Like, if someone is watching this and they have lived a certain kind of life, struggles, financial struggles, relationship struggles, whatever, and they really want to change everything, and they are just ready to, I'm just so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and ready to shift things and manifest a new life. I think this is the very most important things and the most challenging thing to learn, to understand, and then to master. And it comes with a lot of practice, and it comes with consistency. The problem with manifestation is that people watch The Secret, which is an amazing movie, amazing book, but they think if I just keep repeating affirmations and I just have a vision board, that's it. I should be able to manifest anything I want. And if it doesn't work, therefore the whole manifestation thing is BS. That's not the case. There is so much more to it. And what I'm going to share is one of the most important things. And again, it is not an easy thing. If it was, we would all be manifesting amazing things and miracles, but we can learn it. So here's the concept. We need to learn. So you know how we navigate in this world through our five senses: hear, smell, see, taste, touch. We look at our results, we look at our bank account, we look at the results in our business, in our relationships, even in our health. We observe the data with our five senses. We look at it, we hear it, we see it, and we get emotionally involved with it. And even though we say affirmations of something that we want, because we are observing the current result, we are getting emotionally involved with it. We let it sink in our psyche, in our body. Therefore, we create more of that. And that is why they say the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer, because they both observe the result, they get emotionally involved with the result, wanted or unwanted, and therefore they create more of the result. So if you don't want that, as I was saying, if you are not happy with your result in your life, you need to learn to ignore your five senses, which is hard because we've never been taught.
Right.
We've never been told, we've never been taught, we've always been actually taught the opposite. As a kid, when a kid is crawling or starting to learn to walk, the parents, the mom is always like, look, watch, be careful. So we've always since childhood been encouraged to use our five senses, actually.
Right.
But now what I am teaching and what I learned from Bob is to, if you want a different life, you have to understand and learn and master to ignore your five senses and go from within and create the life that you want, regardless of the results that you're experiencing in your life. And there are 6 higher mental faculties that we use instead of our 5 senses. Those are in our conscious mind. And they are like God-given gifts that no one knows and no one uses. And sometimes people actually use them in reverse and in a negative way. So those, we learn how to use those 6 higher mental faculties to create the vision, the goal, the lifestyle that we want, regardless of the result. So we see the result. Okay, this is my bank account. This is my relationship. This is whatever. I don't like it, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to let it go. Just going to let it go. And all day long, I'm going to use my 6 higher mental faculties and focus on what I want. What is the life I want? What kind of person I want to be? Where do I want to live? What kind of experiences do I want to have? And create from within. And one of these higher mental faculties, obviously, they all require like 1 hour teaching at least. But one of the simple one of these higher mental faculties that we all can use is our imagination.
I love that.
Yeah. And you know, Tanya, it's so interesting that if you think about it for a second, like I always ask myself, why do we have this ability to close our eyes and imagine ourselves in whatever environment, situation, country, whatever we want? Why do we have that? Animals don't have that. Animals cannot see themselves other than where they are. They function based on their instinct, day to day, find the food, give birth, or just survival. They don't have, we have this visualization, imagination ability. Why? It is for us to create.
Good question. It's a really good question. I've never asked that question before, but it makes total sense.
Yeah, just ask yourself, like anyone who's watching, just ask yourself, why am I able to close my eyes? And right now, like I'm sitting in my home, why do I have this in my mind? What is the purpose of this thing in my mind that I can close my eyes and see myself at the beach? And if I really take 10 minutes and go deep into that, I can feel the warmth of the sand. I can feel the water. I can hear the waves. What is this thing that I have been given?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to use it? Yes, you're supposed to use it to create the life that you want.
Yeah.
This is how you co-create with the universe.
Yeah. And you learn how to use it as a kid, whether it's, being Superman or Wonder Woman, fighting off the dinosaurs or whatever. That's us learning how to use it. And we get into school and they start to take it away from us.
Yeah.
Right. You get into 3rd or 4th grade and they start to take it away from us, and you start having to use your logical mind and your cognitive mind. And so, yeah, I've always, not always, since I've started on my journey, really dug into, why do we not use our imagination as adults? Why is it so frowned upon?
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I learned that when I joined Bob Proctor's coaching. And I'm going to say that because I want people to be ready. If someone is watching and they're like, ready, I'm ready, I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to start vision. I learned that. He teaches that. And for about 2 years, I resisted using this tool. I knew I have to use it. I absolutely believed it. But somehow I found excuses not to do it, not to sit and do it. I found myself being busy. I'll do it in the morning. Okay, I had a busy morning. I do it at night. Okay, I'm tired. I'm just going to go to bed. I'll do it tomorrow morning. And it's so strange because it is one of the concepts that Bob teaches. It is your paradigm. Your paradigm is your multitude of habits and belief system that wants to keep you where you are. survival system is keeping you in the familiar situation. So it's like a program running in the background, just making sure that you're not going to go anywhere. You are staying in the familiar situation, even though if you're not happy with it. So as soon as you want to start using this mental tool of visualization, because that program knows as soon as you're going to do that, and if you keep doing that, things are going to shift for you. You're going to start co-creating with the universe. And the program doesn't want that, because it to the program, to the paradigm, that shifting equals uncertainty, equals not being safe. And that's the paradigm is fighting all the time. So it's so interesting. Although I knew that, I really had a hard time to use it for about 2 years. And then I started using it, and now it is like a daily practice.
Well, I think with anything, when there is something that we need to shift and change from our usual routine, it is something that we resist in the beginning because it is uncomfortable. You know, it might feel silly to sit there and close your eyes and just imagine yourself, you know, at the beach in a mansion with, you know, right on the ocean, and sitting there just listening to the ocean break against the sand. It's something that you really have to shift your mindset in doing any change, whether it's using your imagination or getting into fitness or whatever. You have to shift your mindset into, can this benefit me? Can this work? And can I give it a couple minutes a day, even just to try?
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it
Yeah,
starts to stick.
exactly. And because I was so much into my masculine energy, I call it masculine energy, it doesn't have to do with gender. Masculine energy meaning like the action, just taking action, just doing, hustling and grinding. I thought this is such a waste of time to sit and close your eyes. And exactly as you said, like this is silly. And we're not used to that. We're at a certain age. We haven't done that for decades. And it is a practice, but it is a very powerful practice.
It is. So there's definitely, you know, the imagination is the first step. And I'm gonna guess that that's probably, is that the easiest step out of the six?
Out of the 6 higher mental faculties, honestly, none of them are easy, because just because we haven't done it before, you know what it is? It's like going to the gym. If you are in your 30s or 40s and you've never exercised before, it's not going to be in any muscle, any part of the body that you choose, either if you do upper body or lower body or abs, it is not going to be easy because you have not worked out, you've not developed that muscle strength. And what it is with these mental faculties, these are also mental muscles. So the difficulty is in that we've never used them, or as you said, we used them when we were a child, some of them, some of these mental faculties, but we haven't used them for a long time, and we've never been encouraged to use them. So they are weak. They are like weak, very weak muscles that we have to work on. But I would say another one that is a kind of in combination when you use it with imagination is the will. You know, a lot of time people talk about willpower, and a lot of time the definition that people have about willpower is actually wrong. Willpower is not that you use this power to force yourself to take an action. You don't use, based on teachings of Bob, you don't use willpower to take an action, force yourself to take an action. You use your willpower in your mind to keep the image of your goal, your desire, the kind of lifestyle you want, the amount of money you want to earn, whatever it is that you want, that image has to be on your mind all day long. That's how you use your willpower. So as soon as you start getting distracted by the three-dimensional physical world, by your results, which I was saying we need to learn to ignore the five senses. As soon as you are going to get there, you're going to go there and you're going to get emotionally involved with your results, unwanted results, that's when you're going to use your willpower. You're going to use willpower and say, no, I don't want to get emotionally involved in that. I am going to focus, will, the same as focus. I'm going to focus on what I do want instead. Even though if it is not here, I'm going to focus on that. And then combine that will focus with your imagination. And the more you can do that, the easier it becomes. Again, like going to the gym and working on that muscle, you're strengthening that muscle every day. The key is in consistently and doing these practices every day. Even if it is just 10 minutes a day, do it every day though. Don't do it like for an hour a day and don't do it for the whole week. Every day, the practice of visualization and the will, as soon as you start looking at your results. Because the other thing about results is that your results, you see them now in the present moment, but they are actually a physical manifestation of the past thoughts and feelings and emotions.
Yep.
Right? So whatever you believed in the past, whatever your belief system was, however you vibrated, meaning your emotions, your feelings, created this physical world that you're living in right now. It is the past. It is a manifestation of the past. You're actually not observing the present moment. You are observing the past in a physical form.
Yeah. I was
So
just going to ask
it's
you.
irrelevant.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how do emotions play into manifestation? And you just said it. It's the emotions and stuff that you've created from the past that are showing up in this moment that you've created. But how does, like, fear and doubt and disappointment, how does that play into your manifesting?
Such a good question, Tanya. Well, the feeling is everything. We don't manifest by the words we use. We don't manifest by the affirmations we say if there is no feeling attached to them. We manifest all the time. We are all the time manifesting, by the way. Manifestation is not that you just learn to do it and then you do it. Even if you don't know about it, you are unconsciously manifesting all the time. And we are manifesting based on how we are feeling, not what we are thinking, because we manifest who we are. Oh, you have a little kitty cat. I love
Yeah, she likes to come
cats.
up and join once in a while.
Oh, I love cats. I used to have a cat and I used to foster a few cats. Just love them.
Yeah, they're good animals, especially when you like want to, go on vacation. You can definitely leave them for a day or two by themselves, whereas dogs you can't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I just love their energy. Something special about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, yeah, so I just want to talk about the feeling because it's such a key point into manifestation. So remember we started with the law of attraction, right? So law of attraction, which is a lot of people who watch The Secret, read the book The Secret, or just know about manifestation, they know and they heard about this law of attraction. Law of attraction is one of the laws of the universe. There are many, many laws in this universe. This is an orderly universe. There is nothing by accident. There is nothing random. If you look at the nature, if you look at the season, if you look at the galaxies, everything is orderly. So this whole universe is based on many, many different laws. One of the laws is law of attraction. And law of attraction is actually not a primary law, it is a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration. So this whole universe is a vibrational universe, meaning everything is vibrating all the time. Nothing is solid. Even the things that you look solid in our eyes, look at your laptop, your cell phone, it looks solid into your eye. If you put it under a strong microscope, you will see that there is movement. It is not so, everything is vibration, different frequencies of vibration, like water, ice, and steam made of same energy, but vibrating at different frequencies. That is why one form of it is ice, looks solid, one form of it is water, looks more fluid, the other form of it is steam, looks different because of the frequency level of the vibration. But so the most important thing to understand that everything vibrates in this universe, me and you included. And based on the vibration, based on how we individually vibrate, where our frequency is, we are attracting all the time. Like we are like this antenna, we're attracting based on our frequency. Based on how we are vibrating, we attract people, situation, events, circumstances that are a match to that vibration. Another word to make it more tangible for people understanding what this vibration or frequency is when it comes to human beings, that's your emotion. That's how you are feeling. So emotion is a conscious awareness of your vibration. Like when you ask someone how you're feeling, they say, like if they're doing great, they say, I feel great. They don't say I am, but I am consciously aware that I am vibrationally on a very high frequency. But that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So vibration is the same as emotion. So to recap, based on how you are feeling, you are attracting. Based on how you are feeling, you are manifesting. It is not about what you think. So people say, I have this vision board. I've been thinking about living in this mansion, but I manifested an accident. Like I had a horrible accident. So what you're experiencing in your life, and I know sometimes we go through a really hard time and it's really hard to believe that I manifested this thing.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of compassion with everyone who's going through a hard time, because when we're in it, it's really hard to understand it. But because we are attracting all these things, like for example, the person that won a mansion but manifested an accident, the reason why is that somehow a day before, a few hours ago, a week ago, a month ago, just recently, you've been in this feeling of either not happy, sad, anxious, worry, stressed, having fear about something, having doubts about something, like any kind of low frequency vibration and feeling.
Yeah, it's not that they attracted the car accident itself. They attracted the vibration that car accident is vibrating at.
Yes, the experience that that brings out the feeling. So what feeling brings that accident? What is the feeling of that accident? It's not a good feeling. So that is in harmony with what you have been feeling. But so we need to understand that we are manifesting and attracting all the time. But if it's something really bad or negative or hard is happening in your life, please also don't blame yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself. Have a lot of compassion. As we were just saying a few minutes ago, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So you were feeling in a certain way and you were not even aware of it. So unconsciously, you created something. And also know that this experience is here to teach you something, so that you can elevate yourself, so that you can understand how you've been feeling and vibrating, so that you can change it, so that you can experience something much more amazing than before. So don't get into the victim mentality, and just know that every experience is here to teach us something. You were also talking about something really important, which is fear, doubts, and worry. That is, so I'm going to pick one word, which is doubt. Doubt is the most important thing, the main thing that is going to reverse all your effort and manifestations. Doubt is actually 100 times worse than fear. Because fear, especially if you're doing something new that you've never done before, you are going to experience fear. Everyone who's successful, who's doing something of significance, they experience fear if they're doing something uncomfortable that they haven't done before and it's a stretch for them. They experience the fear, but they still do it because they know, they have this knowing, they have this faith, they have this belief that they deserve what they want. But the difference between people who are successful and unsuccessful is not that successful people don't have fear. Everybody experiences fear. The difference is people who don't experience success is people who bring doubt into equation. And when you start doing something towards your goal and your dream, there's going to be fear. And if you bring doubt and you doubt the whole thing, then you're going to let the fear stop you. Then you're not going to take the action, or you're going to take the action once and fail, and then you're going to say, okay, that's it, I'm not going to continue. So doubt is one of the things, the most important things that we have to get rid of, and we have to work on our faith and certainty and belief every single day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's a practice again, like everything else.
That practice makes perfect, but practice makes progress. So I tell my clients the same thing with meditation and journaling. You have to do it every day. You can't just do it for, every other day and be like, oh, it's not working. Well, because you're not really focused on doing it, and you're not focused on implementing those changes into your life. And so it's definitely, we didn't learn to walk by taking a couple steps and giving up.
Yeah.
Everything is a baby walk.
Yeah. Imagine if we gave up, we would be crawling. That would be hilarious.
You have given us so many good tips and awareness on how to get started. Is there anything else that you would like the listeners to know or understand? Any other tidbits?
Oh, there's so much. I can talk about this for hours. But one thing we didn't talk about, and I think is one of the most important things in the manifestation process, is to have a goal. So everybody wants to live a better life. Everybody wants more happiness, more freedom, more love, more money, more abundance. That's not a goal. That's a wish or hope. In order to manifest, and in order for the mind is a very beautiful, complex supercomputer. It can also be your worst enemy if you don't know how to control it, because you have to be in control of your mind. Your mind should not be your master. You have to be the master. But the mind requires, it's like a goal seeking mechanism. It requires a goal, really clear, defined goal in order to achieve it. So the very first step of manifestation is to have a definite, clear goal. Like, what do you want to do every day? How do you want to live your life every day? Where are you living? Where do you want to live? How much money you want to earn? Who do you want to serve? What kind of relationships you want to have? And don't pick too many, pick one or two, because then again, your mind is going to get confused if there are way too many goals. Pick one or two most important things that you want to achieve in your life. And yeah, again, just ignore your five senses, ignore the result that you are experiencing in your life. Remind yourself that this is a manifestation of my past vibration, and use your willpower to keep the image of your goal, and use your imagination daily. And of course, there's just so many beautiful practices, as you mentioned, a couple of them: meditation, journaling. But I also don't want to overwhelm people. So if you can do the things that we talked about on this podcast, you're going to start seeing amazing results. And also, one more thing, which is important: the timing. So we all want what we want, yesterday. Like we want to have all the success right now. We want to have all the money right now, all the fulfillment, all the joy, all the love right now. And that creates a lot of attachment and a lot of anxiety. And that feeling alone delays our manifestation, because the manifestation process, and this is for another podcast, you have to feel like your wish is already fulfilled, as Neville Goddard talks about. You have to feel internally that your wish is already fulfilled, as if it is already here. You have to pretend it. You have to learn how to do that. So therefore, you cannot be attached to the timing. When is it coming? It's not here yet. When is it coming? It's not here yet. You cannot be in that anxious feeling. So have a little bit trust, and the timing is the only thing that is not up to you, and it's up to God, universe, whatever you want to call it, higher intelligence. Do what you need to do every day. Enjoy what you are doing, enjoy the process, have fun with it, and use your higher mental faculties, just the ones that we talked about.
That's awesome. Where can they find you to work with you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all platforms under my name, Helia Oghani. I also have created a free workbook. It is called Wealth Manifesting. I can send you the link. And I also have a free workshop coming in April, I think the second or the third week of April. I will also send you the link to add it to your show notes. And that's a free live masterclass. It's mostly for business owners, entrepreneurs, or self-employed. If you have anything, or if you were thinking about starting your own thing, I'm teaching Bob Proctor's teachings, the things that we talked about here, and much more. Like I'm going to go over all the other higher mental faculties that we didn't get a chance to talk about today, and much more for 5 days, an hour a day, and it's full of value. And I offer these free events a few times a year. So that's something else I can offer. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Helia, for coming on.
Thanks, Tanya, for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Metamorphosis Project podcast. I hope today's episode brought you inspiration, joy, and a spark of empowerment. Remember, transformation is an incredible journey, and every single step you take towards self-care and healing brings you closer to the life you truly desire. If this episode uplifted you, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps us to share this journey of hope, resilience, and joy with many listeners. For more tips, support, and inspiration, come and visit us at designyourexistence.com. Until next time, keep growing, keep healing, and keep shining brightly. You are absolutely worth every bit of love and care you give to yourself. Take care, stay joyful, and be well.